Hey, what's going on, folks? It's Mike here, and I've got a little bit of a news piece for you that I want to go ahead and share. Something that's really exciting and relevant to you if you're subscribed to this channel, because likely you followed me because I've done C, C++, deprogramming, or perhaps SDL. So, amongst other playlists that I have on software development, SDL has been one of my preferred graphics and windowing frameworks that I like using. And there's a really big update here. So if you'll notice here, we have the SDL 3.0 preview edition here. I'm going to go ahead and click on this and we'll go ahead and look on it. If you're not familiar with SDL, basically it's a framework, a cross-platform framework that's been around for many years. It's been very stable through versions 1, 2, and now version 3, which I'm going to talk about, which is now ABI stable, meaning that they're not really going to change around the functions, parameters, things like that. They might, of course, add to it and, of course, fix bugs, but the functions that are in now are effectively how you're going to call those functions for the most part. So anyways, SDL is available on lots of different platforms. That's one of the reasons why I really like it. I mean, you can check out my SDL2 playlist, and of course we'll probably have a SDL3 playlist at some point here, so I can update these lessons here to SDL3, which will be the future going forward. And my understanding is, even if you have SDL or are moving on to SDL3, I mean, SDL2 is still going to be supported and fine. I mean, that's just my understanding of, talks I've heard from the game developers conference, or just other things that I sort of understand from the different press releases. And if I'm wrong, I apologize about that. But yeah, again, my understanding is SDL2 is not going anywhere. So again, if you're in the midst of developing an application, no problem. But some of you might want to move on to SDL3, and we'll talk about some of the features here that are going to be released here. So anyways, I'm going to click on this link here and open up the releases here. And as you can see here in big text here, they're announcing the SDL 3.1.3, stable ABI preview. So of course they've got lots of bug fixes, which is normal. There will always be bug fixes as they have to update these things as the operating systems update and different platforms come out and so on. But they're already using this, which is kind of cool. I mean, you always kind of want to, if you're going to invest time in a framework, have it sort of backed by many of the folks at Valve are using it, in Dota, CS2, and of course Steam. So again, that means they've been fixing bugs, improving it, adding features, and so on. So credits to these developers who are listed, and the many others who have been working on this. So anyways, let's take a look at a few of the things here for the highlights of SDL 3.0. So again, they have put a lot of effort into the documentation here. Again, for those of you who watch my 2 series, I basically use the wiki to help you understand SDL 3, or in that series 2, and I'll do the same thing for 3 to understand how to navigate this documentation here. But let's see, they've even got cool stuff, right? They've got the documentation on main entry points here, video stuff. I mean, it's a pretty big and pretty nice API. So again, for input, different controllers, there's force feedback stuff, haptic, there's the new GPU rendering stuff here. So I want to talk about that in a moment here. Threading, you get kind of a cross-platform way to do this. And why does this, stuff sort of matter here? Why would I want like SDL thread when you say, well, I've got, threading in my language or whatever? Like if you're using this from a binding, like, I do from the D language sometimes, and you want to use something like better C within D, right? You need a thread library that's cross-platform. And I mean, this is really cool here, that this is again built in, right? Different ways to build and launch a thread, destroy a thread, and so on. So again, that's built in. That's a super underrated feature here. Here's the synchronization primitives here. Again, this is going to look pretty similar, again, to something like a P thread if you're used to it. You have your condition variables, mutex, read-write locks, semaphores, and so on. But you have the basics that, again, if you need a library to do this stuff, you have it. So there's timing stuff, file stuff, I mean, all sorts of stuff here. I mean, SDL3 is a pretty cool library here. I mean, there's even, I think this is one of the new features too, there's even a message box, which is kind of cool. Again, seems like a silly feature to emphasize, but just being able to display some data is kind of nice as well in a window, or give a user some feedback, right? Not everybody has their console open when you're playing a game here. So being able to do that in a cross-platform manner seems like a good thing. But let's go through the features that they're highlighting. So anyways, that was the documentation. This one that I'm really excited about here, example programs and ones that run in our browser. So let's see, we've got lots of examples here. Looks like they even have a full game here written in C. This could be fun to play around with. Maybe we'll try it in a later video. I just want to keep this to sort of a news piece, though, because I saw this and I thought this was pretty exciting here to have SDL3 and to see that, well, we can actually play this snake game in the browser here. Oops, let's move around here. I guess I got to eat these things. But that's kind of cool because, again, now SDL2 always had a path with, say, mscripten or different ways to compile things to WebAssembly here, but again, I like seeing these examples, which I don't remember, at least when I started doing SDL2 stuff again, which was quite some time ago, if they had this available. So anyway, it's really encouraging to see those examples already up and running here, which is super neat here. Now, of course, the GPU API I think is going to be something very cool and worth taking a look at here. So basically, I mean, you've always basically had the API or the ability to create a window and then do your own, OpenGL stuff or Vulkan stuff or whatever. But what's kind of cool here is it looks like, I mean, this is going to be a good framework for just building and getting some stuff up in 3D, maybe even for teaching 3D graphics, because some of these APIs are getting interesting in terms of their size here. I'm actually kind of curious about this and to see what they settled on for the shader language. See if they settled on like HLSL or if they ended up writing their own. Let's see if there are some examples here. So you can create a GPU shader, which is super cool here. Let's see here. Okay, so they're going to have stuff for Spear V shaders. I mean, we're going to really have to dig into this here. Okay, yeah, they've got pixel, vertex. Okay, I see. Yeah, there's a couple different things going on here. We'll just have to dive into this further, but let's see. Do we have a full example? I mean, this is great documentation that we're going to read through at some point here. Let's see here. Maybe create GPU buffer. I'm just trying to see if we can have a full code example. I'm sure there is in the examples. Let's see the example program, so if we can find something. Drawing lines, renderer maybe. Let's see here. Let's start with something simple like primitives. Let's see here. Does this just use the GPU API? Okay, this example creates an SDL window and renderer, draw some lines. Okay, let's see what we got here. Really kind of excited to see what they've done with this. I mean, this stuff's pretty familiar here. Drawing lines and so on, we're familiar with that. Let's see, do we have like rotating textures? Okay, let's see here. Yeah, I have a bunch of these sort of examples already that are cool. Okay, so nothing using the GPU API in that folder here. Maybe in camera? Oh, interesting. I wonder what this is doing. I mean, this is actually, I think this is actually all new. This is something else I wanted to highlight. Like, you have an API for accessing your camera, which is really cool. I mean, I'm usually developing for desktop, but if I'm doing mobile and this stuff just works, that's awesome. Right, if I could just get the iPhone or Android camera. It looks like it's got a way to query devices and so on, so, I don't see why that wouldn't work here. And this is going to be a pretty awesome update for SDL3. I mean, there's just a lot of cool stuff here. Let's see, yeah, camera API, some of the new stuff here, as expected. Okay, you got storage API. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, interesting. Let's see, SDL storage. Opaque data type for accessing stuff. Okay, so you could create I mean, if you want to create like your own virtual file system when you like load a bunch of data files into a game or something, right? Because you kind of want to just load a package of bytes and look at things. It seems like we have a tool to do that now, which is awesome. So we'll take that. I mean, we're going to take all this stuff here. It's really cool. Let's see, what else is new here? Okay, optionally run your program from callbacks instead of main here. Oh, let's take a look at that here. Okay. Ah, interesting. Okay. So initialize. Okay, so there's a second option. Okay, so we can have a main. Yeah, I suspect, again, I don't remember when I was looking through SDL, right? Usually you define your main in a specific way, so it sort of overrides this function. But again, yeah, some applications need like win main or something. So this is like actually really nice documentation Again, right, they've been able to learn from how they've used it, and other folks have learned or been using SDL as well. So that's kind of cool here. Okay, so yeah, I guess they're really thinking about things like iOS here, Mscripton, other platforms. Maybe how Wayland's doing stuff to sort of save energy here. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is going to be a big update. Again, as I mentioned, SDL2 is not going anywhere as far as I know, and we'll get, maintenance and that kind of stuff. But it seems like SDL3 is going to be a really nice update for those who do choose to move forward, which is probably what I'm going to do. So again, let's go ahead and see what else we got here. Let's see here. As far as new stuff, Pen API, that's also cool. I mean, I wonder how many new sorts of apps are going to get just started, developing here. Because if you give me an easy API here for accessing, I have a stylus here that I use for drawing on my lessons here. Now I'll think about developing some app maybe in SDL, which is cool. Okay, so we got audio stuff, audio streams. I'm actually kind of excited to see what audio stuff has been added here. I wonder, does this get, what I'm getting at here with the audio stuff is, do I need still like SDL mixer and these types of things here? The audio stream stuff, okay, this looks like pretty, it's handling mixing. It looks like the audio API here maybe has gotten a little bit larger here. Let's see here. So again, let's navigate this by going to category audio. Okay, all SDL3 revolves around SDL audio stream, whether you want to play or record audio, convert it, stream it, etc. Okay, let's see here. SDL also provides, okay, so you still got your wave loader. Yeah. Cool. That's pretty much all I want here. Audio passing through SDL is uncompressed. Okay. Provide their own decompression. Okay, that all makes sense to me. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty similar, but it might have grown a little bit here. We'll have to take a look at the audio API. Maybe if we put these side by side, let me bring it from another window here. SDL2 audio. Let's see here. And let's see what we had here. Audio. Just for a comparison here. Okay, access to raw stuff. Again, you can see the difference between the documentation and the effort put in there, which is awesome. Let's just get like a data types to macros. There's more stuff here for sure. Just even look at the macros here. The structs, audio stream versus audio spec here. Okay, I suspect audio programmers' lives are going to get easier. This new API, which is great. Okay, cool. They'll automatically manage migrating to new physical hardware as devices are plugged in. Okay, so if I plug my headphones in or something, maybe there's a way to deal with that. Okay, color spaces. There's a clipboard API. That's kind of cool. So you can provide a callback for handling different types of data. Again, I think this is going to be a huge evolution for how to do stuff. Even customizable virtual keyboards. All this little stuff, is really big stuff that's going to, I think, make the cross-platform story, because SDL always had a great cross-platform story as far as, I viewed it as far as just supporting a lot of different platforms for getting a window up and be able to render to it. But all this other kind of stuff here, I think really extends that story, especially for like the indie developer, or the pros, right? Again, Valve is using this as mentioned, as well as, tons and tons of other studios. That's pretty cool. Again, to have all this. So, there's even a process API. That's kind of cool. So you're getting a lot of the, APIs that, we have things where we can do this, of course, in C or, in Unix, you kind of do this, but, in Windows versus like Linux, is it, are you forking a process? Is there like some other spawn function you got to figure out? That's kind of nice to have all this stuff uniform and wrapped up here. I'd be curious to take a peek at the code of some of this just to see how they did that, because I think it's neat. But anyway, this is a really nice story here with SDL. So anyways, this is a huge release here, 3.1.3 SDL3.1.3. Try to get that right here. I just want to highlight some of the things and show the hard work that these folks have been doing here, because I think it's going to be an exciting release. I don't know if folks have caught it. I've seen tweets about it. I think it went out maybe October. Was it October 4 here? Let's look at again, see if this has a timestamp. But at least that's when I caught wind of it. So a few days late here, but yeah. So last week, and we're recording the 13th here. So anyways, folks, I hope you have, if you've enjoyed my SDL2 playlist, it's still going to be useful for a lot of this stuff. But let's go ahead on the SDL page here. We are going to want to start looking at the migration guide if you're using that SDL2 playlist, and at some point I'll create a SDL3 playlist, or maybe we'll do a project or something of that nature. But for now, you can look at my SDL2 playlist and then look at this kind of stuff here for how to change the different API calls and so on. Again, this is pretty well documented how they're going to have this sort of migration. Maybe there'll even be automated tools for this migration, right? Somebody can write a little Clang fix-it or something. But anyways, folks, I'll go ahead and end it there. I like to refresh this page because they always show like cool projects. Ankh, that was a Ogre 3D project, if I recall, and of course Turtles is a great game. So yeah, we landed on a nice one there. But anyways, folks, thanks for your time and attention watching this video. Let me know if you're using SDL2, if you've been watching my videos, if you're excited about an SDL3 playlist, and we'll start putting something together. With some code examples. And again, I'm really excited, and congratulations to the team who has been involved with releasing SDL3, because that is exciting, and it makes my life for developers like me a lot easier. And for teaching graphics and stuff, it makes my life a lot easier too. So anyways, folks, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're most excited about. Let me know if you've seen some cool examples with the GPU API. I'm going to be excited to see that and see where that takes folks. And again, I think this could really kickstart a lot of cool projects just by having so many tools with an SDL3. So I think I'm really excited to see what you folks create. And anyways, with that said, folks, thanks for your time and attention. We'll end it here, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next one.